Everything happens for a reason. I'm such a firm believer in that. AI Legacy App Type Talk Live. Here, Adrian Mays. We're talking about building AI powered tools and stories and systems and turning those ideas and money into legacy. Live, we have Elliott Young going to join us here shortly and to be able to talk about the story of the athlete. Talk about the growth in building, as yes, I do build AI powered stories and tools and systems to transform those ideas and money to legacy. So we're going to make this fun. We're going to make this conversation engaging because in this live today, my friends, we're going to break down the reality the athletes face after sports. We're going to talk a little bit about the gaps in financial literacy and life preparation. What coaches and mentors like a Elliott Young and an Adrian Mays may be missing. The difference between talent and long-term impact. And we are even going to touch a little bit on how experiences shape leadership and legacy. It's going to be a fun and engaging time, my friends. If you're here live, thank you so much for showing up live. And if you're watching the replay, you're in for a treat because welcome to an opportunity. So before I bring my friend in, it's so crazy. It's not just about sports and track and field where we actually connected years ago, just being so competitive in nature, sharing one love for the game. And most people aren't prepared for conversation. Elliott Young, former athlete, coach, entrepreneur, leader, father, friend, big community figure, someone that I've known since Murray State University. He attended college as SIU that we'll talk about here soon. But through that college connection, Rod Thompson, what up, though? And what stood out, honestly, when I reconnected with him, less than a week or so ago, because again, I saw it on social media. My friend was doing what he loved and his passion and growing and pouring into others in higher levels in regards to what he does best, which is being an athlete, being him, being an amazing individual. So when I saw this information and I was on Facebook, it really honed in the fact of what God actually is leading me to do. So we're connecting in this conversation it's building something more bigger than me. I always say it a lot. And if you follow at Adrian Mays, and if you agree with me, if it feels like sometimes it's more than you, put a 1 in the chat, because here we're trying to build something more than just structure. We're building a movement and building structure with athletes and understanding the awareness. You know how they say history repeats itself? It matters more than ever that we act as mentors and we answer those questions for those athletes and parents and coaches and entrepreneurs. Anyone trying to build a dream and a vision and turn their experiences into something that lasts, because talent alone, it's not going to be enough, my friends. In 2026 and alone, with things like AI and systems and tools and apps, legacy requires structure. So today, my friends, let me bring in Elliott Young and bring him in and talk a little bit more about how this structure has built this young man. Elliott, what up, though? Adrian Mays, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to be here with you. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. We have to say hello because Miss Emma's saying hello to you, as well as Miss Vicky as well, showing love to actually be here. But I know you from the years and years, aging both of us. But talk a little bit about, the people that don't know you on the platform. Just introduce yourself a little bit and kind of give a backstory before we jump right into just questions.
Okay. Lifelong Memphian, born and raised. That's hometown. As you mentioned, collegiate athlete, two-sport collegiate athlete. Pursued track and field after 2 years of junior college basketball and did the whole track and field route post-college. And after college, I had to figure out what direction I wanted to go. And doors opened up for me, but then they closed immediately. And so at that moment when the doors closed unexpectedly, that's when reality really kicked in for me. And so that's when, I had to pivot and figure out life as a grown-up, at 27. And so from 27 to now, I was in the corporate world. Well, not until now, until last year. I was in the 2023. So time is moving. I was in the corporate world. And then tragedy occurred in my life. I lost 2 brothers. And from that moment, I had to revisit what life meant for me at that particular moment in my life. And so from those moments, sitting there reflecting of, 1 minute you're the youngest, and then you look up and within less than 2 years, you don't have any brothers. And so that moment right there really hit home, and it really made me sit still for a while and to figure out what am I doing and what direction do I want to go now? And because it was new for me, it's new territory for me. And that's when I decided, I want to get back into what I'm really passionate about. And it wasn't the car industry. It's really helping people. And so that's how we reconnected. So the activity of getting back busy, getting busy on social media, as far as what I pivoted to, that was because I'm like, okay, this is the direction the good Lord wants to pull me into. And so I'm just following that path.
You're doing great work, El. I'm gonna let you be humble and as you are. And Dr. Vicky Wright Hamilton says she follows you and her son loves you. So, definitely a shout out to you, Dr. Vicky Wright, for actually just, you got fans, my friend. You got fans out here.
That's not common. That's odd to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a quiet kind of guy. So this new venture journey is making me look at life from a different point of view and different lens. So I have to get uncomfortable. So this has been part of the process, being uncomfortable.
See, and she said that you gave him hope. So getting comfortable being uncomfortable, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about here today, because when I was going through your social media and doing the research for today, I noticed a couple of things. And you mentioned your brothers, Barry, Elliott, that's yourself, Elliott and Galen. You guys, Jesus, what happened? This is just so crazy how God puts things together. But I definitely my prayers for losing both of your brothers. But you're here. How does that make you feel? How did you get through those tough moments, Elliott? Because on a serious note, my prayers and condolences go to you. Seriously.
Okay, now Barry, that's that video that I put out. That's our last encounter. That's Galen's, my brother's best partner. And so Galen is on the far right. My oldest brother, he's Bird. He's not pictured on that, but he's. I
was wondering.
As a society,
yeah.
Okay. And I was wondering. So this is not your brother here. Okay.
No, that's Galen's my brother. Barry is our best friend. Okay. Well, one of my brother's best friend, one of my close friends. And so this is actually the last encounter right before. This is the last meeting that I had with my brother. This is our last time ever together. And so this is our last conversation. So by the grace of the good Lord, I have 45 minutes of content. And for whatever the reason was, something just said, pull out your phone and record. And I don't know what prompted me to pull out my phone and to record us. And so that was our very last time we were together. And so it meant something, because I've revisited this phone call, not this phone call, but that recording. I may have watched it a million different times just to figure out what's the message. So it meant something to me. Right.
But the great thing is, especially when you don't know what you don't know, it's like the joy of finding out what may happen around the corner. So in regards to like talking about a little bit about sports, who were you when sports was everything? And what hit you when you realized, you mentioned in your intro about injury and the change and that shift. So what hit you when it wasn't?
The inability to move again. When you look at life, when something is taken away from you.
Right.
And I went through my whole life only understanding me from the lens of being an athlete. And then as life progressed, you become, more aware of where your athletic prowesses could take you. And so once I realized where it could take me, I journeyed down that path. I was, very dedicated to that journey. But life kicks in, and now are you prepared when life actually kicks in? And so that moment in Azusa, California, when I was 27, that changed the trajectory of my life. And so suffered a severe injury, injury that I haven't rebounded from. It still lingers to this very day, but that's my life. And so that's what allowed me to look at life from a different lens. It not allowed, it forced me. That's the better way. It forced me to look at life through a different lens. And sometimes you don't have another lens to look through. And so for 27 years, I only knew this is who I am. Like, I don't know anything else about my life. And so at that moment, I had to figure out, how do I move forward not knowing who I am anymore? And that became the biggest challenge for me. That was the needed challenge. Like, who are you now? You can't rely on your athleticism. You can't rely on your athletic prowesses. Who are you? And that was my biggest journey to unravel and to discover more about me besides the athlete.
So tell me this, like, because I was smiling a couple of times when you're talking, because, you know, it's funny, we're in our 40s now and I'm still trying to figure out, who am I? So what's the biggest lie, especially younger athletes, they may believe about what happens after the game and not taking advantage of opportunities? What's the biggest lie athletes believe?
The biggest lie is it's going to go on forever. You don't think about the moment it ends. You can't. There's no way you can wrap your brain around that moment. And so is it a lie, or is it just information you're not going to even receive yet? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, certain people, they have a reality because they look at the circumstances through athletics, through the lens of an athlete, and they realize they don't have what it takes. But certain athletes, they know they have exactly what it takes. And so their approach is totally different than someone that may not embrace, I don't have what it takes.
Right.
And so when you understand you have what it takes and you pour everything into that accomplishment and it comes up short, then you have to look at life from a different lens now. And so it's really not a lie per se. It's just you have to unravel things about yourself, because you don't ever spend time thinking about, what if I don't? There's no way you can be a high level elite, the best, and you're thinking about, what if it doesn't happen? It just it does not work that way. So it has to happen for you to start looking differently in the mirror. Like, things have to happen. So, you know,
and that's the one thing too. I saw I was looking on your Facebook page, and then Tyrus Thomas was talking about it. I know I talked to you a lot about name, image, likeness for athletes. And if you're not familiar with name, image, likeness, what that is, it's actually allowing athletes to build a brand and leave a legacy and being able to promote themselves and get compensated for it. Something that started back in 2021. So anyway, I was looking at your page on Instagram, and Tyrus Thomas talked a little bit about what you were talking about in regards to preparation and being ready for opportunities. Kind of share a little bit about what you think about, just the opportunity to now get compensated for your skill set. How do you feel about that name, image, likeness?
Phenomenal opportunities.
Right. And I'm going to drop some info in the chat while you talk about it. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, phenomenal opportunities for these young individuals. It's needed. I really believe it was definitely needed, because somebody's benefiting off your talents. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of these situations. You're the one that's putting the blood, sweat, the tears. You should have skin in the game as well. If other people have benefited, you should benefit as well. And so I'm thankful that these younger people have these opportunities that weren't around for us. But the main thing is, are you prepared to take advantage of the opportunities? Now, not just being prepared to take advantage of the opportunities. Once you take advantage of the opportunities, can you maximize them? Can you elevate yourself with these opportunities and grow with it? The goal is not to pass the baton, meaning I got the baton, I run a short race, and then I pass it on to someone else. That's not the goal. It's to take that baton and run your own race, and don't pass that baton on. You keep the baton.
So, of course, pass the baton, especially because, that was my thing, running track and relay. So in thinking about the relay, everybody has a leg, right? I would be the fourth leg, bringing it in type thing. And when you think about the different parts that you have to have in order to win, right? To be successful on a track and field type of situation. It's the same thing that athletes kind of go through as well when they think about the things that they struggle in, the things you can't talk about. Talk about, Elliott, maybe something that athletes may struggle that maybe they don't talk about financially and literacy wise or mentally, any of those aspects. Do you have any situations about how to deal with those type of struggles?
Well, the biggest thing that athletes really in this day and age, even in our area, wouldn't talk about is life after athletics. What is it going to look like from a financial lens? At the end of the day, you need a way to make a living for yourself. That's why you're a student athlete. Now, some people have the privilege or the opportunity of taking their skills to the next level. Most will not. So how have you positioned yourself for this great opportunity that you've had? You don't have to go pro to be successful. And college provides you avenues to garner high level success for your life if you do things a particular way. And it's really about building relationships. That's one of the things. In addition to building relationships, experiencing life, just experiencing who else are you outside of your hometown, outside of your parents' tutelage or structure, whatever the case. Explore life on your own by yourself to figure out who you are, not who you're told you are. Explore life to figure out who am I. And college gives young people the opportunities. And don't beat yourself up if you make ill-advised decisions and the outcomes may not be what you expected them to be. That's part of living life. Just don't beat yourself up. But I see these opportunities if young people are positioned to understand what this opportunity could do for their life, they could yield massive returns in ways that that's unheard of. We haven't experienced this yet. But are you prepared? That's the biggest thing. Are you prepared for it?
That's the key thing is when you don't know what you don't know, being prepared seems like just another term or what have you. In regards to one thing, both of us actually, I had injury in regards to what made my career end for basketball as well as track. And I know the same for you in regards to injury. So how important is it? I know you even talked to maybe recently chiropractors in an athlete's journey and physical therapy, and because I realized that's what I literally sent you that this morning in regards to, I was telling my business partner last night, chiropractors is who we're going to target to help these name, image, likeness athletes. So in regards to getting better, right, and them in your journey, how important is it to get a chiropractor or a physical therapist in the journey of an athlete? Does those two align?
Depends on where you are in the journey, in the process.
That's true.
Sometimes
I wasn't always a fan. That's true.
Yeah, sometimes you could do too much too soon, and it's not necessary. And so it's just a matter of where are you in the journey and who's helping to guide you in that process. There's a lot of people that they have the great intentions, but they may not have the necessary blueprint to help you. And I see a lot of that. The intentions are there, but the knowledge, the applied knowledge, the wisdom from your journey or your experiences, it may not align with where that athlete is at that particular point. So
how does the athlete know though, Elliott? Like, how would I know that this person is not giving me the information? Like, I know in the business world, we can look at Google reviews or Trustpilot or something like that. As an athlete, how would I know that this person is deceiving me or doesn't have my best interest at heart?
Man, if I knew that, I could make a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying?
Intuition. I mean, you have to go through. It's the journey of life. You have to journey past. Like, I couldn't tell you. It's measurable results. Are you being injured a lot? Are you improving? Those are telltale signs that it's either good or it's bad. It's the connection that you have. Are you connected with this individual? Do you feel that they're being genuine with you? And as a young athlete, you may not have discernment like you will later in your career. So I share with you, you have to live life. You have to go through these processes to understand what life is going to be about. Because if you got it right on the front end throughout life, everything was perfect, never had a misstep, never had a headache, whatnot, how is that preparing you for later in life when we all know that's not the way life works? And so I just say you just have to live life and use discernment from experiences. I had a good experience. Let me figure out why this was a good experience. I had a bad experience. Let me figure out subjectively why that may have been bad. And then look at the objective numbers to see if I can kind of use that as a way to just decide if it's a good situation with this person or not. So
okay. And I feel you too, because what I do now is I build tools and AI and stories and these systems to help transfer these ideas of money into legacy. And when I look at the different easy way that taking these systems like you're talking about of yourself, right now having a system of not being able to I don't want to get hurt ever again. So being in my 40s now, in regards to still working out, I saw you with your workouts. Okay, I see you still working out. But the key thing is you got to start with the end in mind, have a plan with, so how important is it to have mentorship and coaching and investing in those tools to get the best guidance for you? I might not be the best person, you might not be, but whatever that person attracts in you, what's the importance of investing in yourself in regards to getting the best mentorship and coaching for your, your ideas?
If I had to put a number on it, it's first, second, and third best things to do. First, second, and third mentorship. Because an individual that is mentoring, it's like, I've been there, done that, and I don't want to see you make mistakes that you can avoid. If I could have shared this information, if somebody would have shared this information with me, what would my life have been? So a lot of people that are mentors, they approach mentoring others that way, like, man, if only I had this knowledge. And so I share with people the best way to get $1 million worth of information is a 99-cent cup of coffee. Meaning, an individual that's been there, done that, they may be retired, 75 plus, whatnot. They have a wealth of knowledge and information, but guess what? Nobody wants to listen to them because they feel like they're antiquated. I'm the type of guy, hey man, let me buy you a cup of coffee. Let me do something so I can show you I'm interested in what you have to offer. And older people, they'll be willing to listen. Just sit there, you listen and let them talk. And so I get a lot of information just from coffee. I take a lot of my mentors out. Hey, man, I can't afford what you charge, what you used to charge, $500 an hour, whatnot. But a willingness to listen and some coffee, man, I could get a lot. So I really believe mentoring is so important for anybody that wants to elevate in life, because you can avoid a lot of costly mistakes that you don't have to make just by taking someone else's experience.
And it's so funny, Dr. Vicki Wright-Helm says she's asking you a question. She has this caregiver app called KinKeeper, and it helps caregivers in regards to their journey be more organized and documented. And so she is right now asking, since young athletes don't have the experience from your perspective, how can we help them move forward? Great question, Dr. Vicki. Thank you so much.
A hands-off approach depends on where they are where are they in their progression of life. The younger they are, I feel, the more free reign they should have. A lot of free reign. And so with that free reign, they build confidence. And so you see a lot of times, what I see, if I was, the question, if I was competitive now, how would I compete? And I'm like, it'll be easy. I just see it's easy because I don't see the confidence in people. And the young athletes, I don't see confidence. It's just, you've done something, you've been doing the same thing over and over. So you build this generic confidence. But then when you get into a real environment where there's real competitors that may not have had what you had, they could sense it. And so with energy, when the person that went through the trials and tribulations to get to this point, when you feel their energy and you've had everything cushioned and you had everything structured a particular way, when you feel this particular athlete's energy, you'll fold. And so if a young person hasn't developed that resilience early, it's going to be hard to get it later in life. So I say for young athletes, just let them go out there and experience things. Don't be that helicopter type parent that shields them from experiences. I say let them experience a lot of setbacks.
And that's what she was saying too. She says that our Black boys are idolizing the role, but not understanding the challenges. And I wanted to say to your point too, Elle, even bringing in her next question for you. In regards to failure, that's a part of the process of growth, right? We're so scared of failure, fear, right? But you're supposed to face everything and recover. But that's the one thing that's always shaky, because that's the opposite of how we all grew up. But her next question was, what gave you the insights to decide that a cup of coffee and listening was really worth your time? It is so hard to tell others. Great question.
Being in the car industry. So I didn't smoke cigarettes. So when I'm in the car, I got in the car industry at 27 to 28. And so the type of individual that I am, if I see who's the best, I'm gonna venture off to be around the best. And so I realized the older veteran car salesmen, they drank coffee. And so I was the kind of guy that, hey, I need to bring this guy some coffee so I can get some information from him. And so it's just trying to figure out, just being young.
You bring them Moses? What kind of coffee? You wasn't Starbucks back then. What kind of coffee?
I was just regular coffee from the gas station coffee. I'm gonna make a run. I'm gonna go run and get some coffee. Right. Because I'm like, in my mind, it's like, if I could hear what you have to say, that's gonna help me. Oh man, I benefit more. And so just being in the car industry, it just showed me, hey, if you're a young person that's ambitious, if you're a young person that's works hard, that's coachable, the older veterans, they're gonna wrap their arms around you because they see they live vicariously through you. And so I realized that early in my life that if you work hard, people have never got on my case for working hard. I've never had anybody get on my case because I work too hard. And so you realize that people, if you work real hard, people are living their life vicariously through you. And so I was a young guy that just worked my behind off, and I realized that people will always support me. And so when I got in the car industry, I started to feel the same thing. Like, oh, okay, they see somebody that's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Hey, young man, let me slow you down real quick. I know you want something, but let me just slow you down. And I'm the type of, okay.
Right.
And so I was willing to listen. So I realized coffee allows me to gain a lot of information. A lot of information. Free information. Yeah.
Right. And thank you, Shalyn, too. She actually, you were coming on to, she actually came to support you. She wasn't feeling well. So that's why we had the slot open today. So thank you, Shalyn.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so coffee matters.
She said, you're so right. We want to learn from you and help you to succeed. We need each other. Very good insight as well. So I truly know that one thing, when I was the car industry, you even helped my business partner and her husband in regards to getting a car and stuff like that. How do you see all the different things that you've done, being the top in car sales, being the top on the field in regards to being an athlete, being the top in everything that you're doing, or even deciding to do next? How do you transfer all of those energy to use those experiences to make the next one even better?
Knowing how you succeed. I know how I lose. I know how I fail. I've studied it. And so it's the same pattern. If I come up short, I know why I come up short. If I succeed, I know why I succeed. So when you've studied it at the level I've studied it, then you can take your time. You're not rushing because it looks a particular way to you. And so when things are becoming, for me, when things are very successful so soon, too early, I get nervous. So it's like, that's not my process. That's not my pattern of success. I take my time. So I for me, it's understanding how you succeed. It's how do you come up short, and have you studied this? Because you're going to follow the same patterns.
Now tell me this: do you see success? Because again, do you think athletes today are actually prepared to handle money and opportunity? And this is kind of a two-part question. And do you see success equals money? So for some people, success equals money, the number amount in your bank account. So does success equal money for you as well? So the first part of the question was, do you think that athletes today are actually prepared to handle money and opportunity? And the second question was, do you think success equals the money in your bank account?
I believe that athletes are better prepared than we may have been because you have the information ahead of time, way ahead of time. And so there's a lot of programs in place that's assisting athletes. Now, the question is, are the athletes prepared to receive it? That's the biggest question.
How would they know? Like, how would
maturity? How were you brought up? The family structure, the system of your family system. It's the system of your family structure. And so if you have a solid family structure, not just family, but community, and it's like certain cities. It's like, okay, you take where I'm from, Memphis, right? It's a basketball city. It's not a track. When I was coming out, it's not a track and field city, and so there was limited avenues for me for track and field because it's not a system per se. Basketball, you can play basketball. Anybody can tell you how to get from here to there in basketball. So you take a state like Texas. They have a system in place. If you play football, they know how to get you from here to there. There's things already in place. And so to answer your question, if with parents, it should come from the home, the structure of the home. And if you do a good enough job preparing your child for success, not just through athletics, but life success, then those are the kids that's going to have a bigger upside to take advantage of these opportunities. Kids that may not come from a solid foundation, family foundation, it's going to be more challenging because it's going to be new experiences for them. And so a lot has to do with your backstory of life. How were you raised? What's the environment? what were the expectations? So, I think that has the biggest, that's going to be the biggest. Looking back, if we had to do a case study, the kids that were prepared with the 2-parent household or a certain type of household, those are going to be the kids that take advantage of these opportunities in comparison to kids that may not have been.
So tell me this, because again, a lot of the people, even on this live today, supporting like the Dr. Vicky Wright and Talia and Shalyn and Emma, those individuals are a part of a community that I'm a part of in regards to Miss Emma, of course, called Apps Built with AI, building apps and technology. How important is it to have community, even if you're doing things online, or even, I know you talked about family, because again, if I look at I love my family. Let me start there. Let me start my disclaimers, but they don't understand what I'm doing. And it's okay, because I don't understand what they're doing. That's okay. So my point is, how important is it to find your tribe, to find those like minds, if not physically in the online space? I have never met Emma, Dr. Vicky. I've never met Talia, but again, these people are in my life every single day. How important is it to find your tribe, even if it's online or offline, in order to reach your vision and your goals?
Extremely important, because it's support. When you're down, who's going to lift you up? It's the minutia. It's the things we can't see, the things we may not even pay attention to until they're in our face. And so that tribe is very important. That's with anything. It's a team. You're establishing a team. So we may use different terminology, but it's a team. And so you use a team for certain benefits. It's to insulate you. It's to, cry on their shoulder if you need it. Someone to lift you up, someone to have you back. It's whatever the case, it's needed. It's hard to exist and to be very successful in life as an independent person. So it's definitely important.
Collaboration is so huge, and that's one of the reasons why I started this AI app Legacy Talk Live. Seriously, is for distribution. Because I have no fear of talking to people. That's my strength, but some people do. And so bringing out those stories, hopefully somebody can. If we can connect with one person to make an impact, job well done is what God says. It's in the Bible. It's the rule book. So Dr. Vicky Wright asked another question for you, El. As we have so many men that aren't in the home, and single mothers are trying to provide as much as they can, what would you give them as advice? Great question.
In what part? In what regards? It's a blanket question.
So we'll see. So he's asking, in what regards, Dr. Vicky? Would you actually elaborate a little bit further in the question? I know it's because you can go a few different directions in that.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't. You knew this, but how many people knew I was a single father? I never even mentioned it, but nobody knew I was raising a daughter on my own.
Dr. Vicky smelled you. I don't know. Man. She's in Atlanta. No, I don't know. She has a 6'6".
And so that was, when you talk about a challenge, for me, that was the biggest challenge, because my daughter wouldn't even walk in the grass. So think about the type of dad that I am. I want to throw a football. I want my daughter to run some routes. You know what I'm saying? And by age 2, it's like I realized, she won't even walk in the grass. So I'm having to read books and watch her play Barbies and all this. And like I want to say hut 1, hut 2, run slant, but it's challenging. It's gonna be challenging. But as far as what it is you're looking to accomplish, let me see the fact that young men need.
So she said, to the fact that young men need men to help them grow and develop. You mentioned how they came in the home. It's a good statement. So yes. How do we help them?
Male influence. A lot of male influence. That's the biggest thing. Male influence. You have to have male influence. A coach, coaches, uncles, a neighbor. Just mentorship rather at the Boys and Girls Club, or whatever the case. It's just your intentions. If your intentions is to find it, it's out there. It's just be intentional about it. And so that's the biggest thing I would say. Be intentional. It exists. It's just you may have to look in certain places. It may not be right in front of you, but we may just have to look for that one mentoring group And it doesn't have to be in the form of athletics.
Right.
It could be any form of who's willing to spend their time helping mold young men.
Now tell me this, how was it as a single father raising a beautiful princess daughter that was not an athlete? How was that challenge for you? You look at your face is telling it all, but that's one thing I love about it. How was that for you?
It wasn't as difficult because my nephew, he was 9 months older than my daughter. So I have a nephew as my son in a sense. So
Right.
So I was able to balance both, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't as frustrated because I could just, hey, come on, nephew, let's go outside and play. Or, I'm gonna wrestle with nephew, whatever the case. And so the challenging part was learning emotions. That was the biggest thing for me, learn emotions. And that was the biggest thing. And
that's good that you're in touch with your emotions as well. So she said, Dr. Vicky said that she's happy to hear you say that. She was a single mom of 2 single Black young men, and she got so tired of hearing, you can't raise them. I made sure they had male influences. Great insight as well. So that's hilarious. But God gives you what you need to get through these moments, right? You get your nephew, 9 months.
Yes, indeed. But that was the biggest challenge for me. The most satisfying thing, watching my daughter graduate high school. That was a big accomplishment for me. Because it's like, man, the life I was living. Everything that I was doing. What I was pursuing, and the whole nine. And had a lot of support and help from her grandmother. That was huge. And so that was huge for me. Seeing her graduate. And then, pursuing the direction that she went in life. And so that made me proud as far as, a father and things of that nature. And then, she's doing her thing. She's married with 2 kids. So I'm a happy man. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great job, Grandpa. What do they call you? Grand E? Like what do they call? You have like a cool name, like Grandpa E. Like what's nothing?
It's whatever they want to call me. I'm fine with it.
What do they call you?
Whatever they want to call me. That's whatever they
Just don't call me Mud, right?
Whatever they want to call me.
So she said, Dr. Vicky Wright Hamilton said, you are showing her how to be treated by a man and receive the love from a good man. So you're doing the right things. And that's so huge too for emotions and having a structure and having a system. It's so crazy that we knew as an athlete to get up every day, to work on our craft, to be the best if we're getting on the field or what have you. But we don't seem to do the same thing for ourselves, mentally, physically, for the visions and things that we actually want. So, El, the next question I have for you, if you could design like the perfect system for an athlete today, what would that system look like and include for you?
I
can start if you want to think.
No,
I got the first one is therapy. We all need it.
Athletic profiling. Profile the athletes, at a young age. And it's getting so competitive now. And so being able to profile a young person early and figure out where their strengths and weaknesses may be and how to position themselves in the right direction to be successful, and providing a different level of different avenues for them to reach success. The one thing I was seeing online is the NCAA has the NCAA and emerging women's sports. So they have opportunities now for young ladies to participate in the triathlon, women's wrestling, and flag football. And so it's like positioning people with information, having information. And if you could screen individuals early and just introduce certain things to them early, not saying that they'll grasp that early, but they can revisit later on, and then they could take advantage of it later on. So it's really what avenues are available, align those avenues with your child's talents. And like me, okay, I love singing. I love music. I wouldn't say singing.
Wait. You said you love singing? It's so much I'm learning today.
I can't sing.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Right. So it would not have, man, I love music. I listen to music all day, every day.
Okay, so now, okay, we are good now.
All day. You know, I don't on TV. I listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have made no sense for my mom to put me in music. It would have made sense because
Right.
I don't have talent in music. Although I love it, I just have no talent in music. So we align our children in things that go opposite of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's if you take your time to assess and to understand what really motivates your child, what their interests are, introduce certain things to them. Just introduce certain things to them and see if they have an interest in it. Then you may be able to revisit that later in life. But just because athletics is what's pushed and athletics is the shining star of hope, that doesn't mean that's the right direction to go, because we could be wasting a lot of time. Now, athletics is good. Now, I'm an advocate of everybody should participate in athletics, but everybody does not have to be a college level athlete or a superstar athlete with that particular sport. Get something out of it. Learn you, because you're challenging yourself, you're pushing yourself. It takes, part of being part of a team, being coachable, working hard, challenging yourself, doing things you may not want to do. That's preparing you for life. So I say every child should be a participant of some form of athletics.
And that's why it's so important, honestly, to take the survey, guys. While we're talking or what have you, take a moment and go to the app and the link that's on the screen. And because the app that's building now for name, image, likeness, I'm asking questions this time because this is the third app that I'm building, L. And the first two apps, I didn't ask questions. I was just like, but I went too far, because if I know how crazy I am, I should have known better. But you live and learn. So now that's why we have these opportunities, individuals like yourself talking about what should be best for athletes. But this link that's on the screen here is giving individuals, because it's going to be catered for the athletes as well as the brands. But the one thing about these different brands and sponsors and collectives, you got to start holding people accountable. And that's one thing that this app is going to do that's different from other apps. Because again, if I'm an athlete and I come and sign on a platform and the brand doesn't have it together in regards to marketing and everything, how am I going to make the money in the best experience? You can't. But I can't hold those businesses responsible as well, because they don't know what they don't know. So I'm taking a different approach in regards to it. So take a moment, if you can, to fill out the survey that's going to help out these name, image, likeness individuals. But I say all that to say, my friend, in regards to, I had a couple more questions and wanted to wrap it up, because I want to stay within the adhering time, because I know I'm limited for you. When you think about back of everything that you've done in regards to being an athlete, how important was it for you to have some type of structure in regards to just whatever you wanted to do? How important was it to have structure in your life?
It's everything. Everything about me is structured, having a game plan. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 approach. And so when you go through life, you understand everything starts with a plan. Where's the foundation? You have the foundation set. Where are your pillars? You build the structure. You start the framing. So it's the same approach regardless of whatever you're going to do in life. It's all the same. It never changes. It never ever wavers. It's just who has refined that process and who understands it. But it's everything, every component of my life.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's every component of my life. Yeah, every component of my life is tied to structure. You're building something. That's what a structure is. You're building something. So when you take on a project, that's a structure. You're creating something. A family, you're creating structure. You're looking to build something. So everything we do in life is tied to the building of a structure.
I think about everything that I can speak for myself and that I've been through, and that you want to save people from, but you just can't. So that's why life is called experience. So when you look back in regards to all the different experiences, even for your children or what have you, what does impact mean to you at the end of it all?
Impact means you leave an impression of who you are. Where you don't have to really say anything. Other people are going to speak on your behalf. So the type of impact that you have, it's, what do you want to be known for or remembered for? And so a lot of people, they're very impactful because they're pursuing their purpose of life. And so it's not work to them. They're just doing the things that they really enjoy, and they're having a huge impact because they may be somewhere totally far, but everybody's speaking about the impact that they had, and they're nowhere around. And so for certain people, that's what matters most. It's like, how many people can I help? It's not about how much money I make. It's not about how many cars I have in my driveway. It's just, I want to be able to say I helped a lot of people accomplish things, because that's kind of, what resonates with your spirit. Some people, they enjoy going to spend money and buying things. For me, that's just never has resonated with my spirit. It's just, I want to help people, because the one thing I realized throughout my life, there's no way I would have been able to accomplish the things that I accomplished without help. Genuine help. Just people willing to help me. And so
what is your why, though? I understand wanting to help people, but and I have that same passion, but what's the why that drives you? I know we even talked a little bit about this backstage or what have you, going in the direction of whatever your passion is. What's your why that makes you keep trying to figure it out and keep going to be the best version of yourself?
It's life. You just got to keep getting back up. You feel you got knocked down, you just got to keep getting back up. And so that's, I'm immune to it. My whole life I was knocked down, so I had to get back up. I was the youngest brother, so you get knocked down all the time. So you just get up one more time, then you get knocked down, and so I just live by that motto. Just keep getting up.
And you literally did that, and I applaud you, because the great thing is, if you keep getting back up, is what made us connect with even us getting in here today. So I truly want to say thank you again. I probably do it about 3 or 4 more times. So anyway, I want to wrap it up and do the top 8 for us as well, because all of the information that you're providing is impacting individuals. And please, in the comments, if this is being helpful, please let us know as well. Dr. Vicki Wright Hamilton is she admires you so much in your resilience, and just to know you're impacting lives that you have no idea about. Elliott, many blessings. Thank you so much. See, you never know until you get started. Welcome to the world of what we're doing live.
Absolutely. That's what keeps me motivated.
So the great thing is, the one thing in regards to food, if you could pick any food and you're free in regards to, not your workout plan. I saw your workout plan. I'm gonna show people that thing before we hang up here today. I was like, I'm gonna have to start doing that. But anyway, what food can you eat all day, any day, without anything about weight or calories? Mine is watermelon. What food would it be for you?
Prime rib.
Prime rib? Oh, is that Memphis in you? That Memphis barbecue?
Just give me some prime rib. I'm good to go. I don't need any extra. Just a good old piece of prime rib.
Okay.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Can you cook prime rib?
No, I can eat it. I can eat it.
Not your strip. But play along with us in the comments if you are listening to us live. That's hilarious, Elliott. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I love prime rib. Mm-hmm.
Now, if you could be any superhero at all, what superhero would you be? Now, I would be Flash. What Superman. Superhero? Remember, I'm a Delta. I'm a Delta now. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So my line name was Flash. I was in and out of town when I was online. What superhero would you be, and why?
Superman. He can do everything. He can do everything. So I would want the Superman powers. Right. I want to fly. I wanted to fly as a kid. So I was a kid that had the towel wrapped around my neck. And so I used to jump off everything thinking I could fly. And so the one thing, it was to the point, it was so bad. It was so bad, I jumped into the cactus and landed in the middle of the cactus bushes, like a big old cactus bush, because I thought I could jump over it. So, yeah.
That's you jumping right there.
Yeah,
just jumping on stuff. Just making up your own workouts. The Elliott Young workout program is not in the gym. It's going to. This is on your Instagram. This is you, correct?
Yes. Well, it's talking about joint health. I share with people your joints matter the most, and so that's something I've been speaking on since the early 2000s. It's my joints. It's not the muscular system. It's your neuromuscular system, but it's a part has to do with how healthy are your joints.
And when you say your joints, now my knees have been, is that's included, correct? Is that correct?
Your ankles, knees, hips, all your joints, the triple extension joints, from your hip down, your ankles, knees, and hips. And
Okay,
so I
'cause I
just,
was trying to show this one exercise that I saw on your Instagram. That I was like, okay, okay, here it is, right here. Yep. So am I on, you still can see my the answer? Nope, here it is. Okay, great. So this is the exercise I saw, and I was like, okay, this is the one here. 5 minutes. Let's
mhm.
talk about it right here. This one here. So
Your
is this one?
toes.
Is this the one I need to do for my knees?
Well, you have to build up to that. That takes a long time to get there. This is just, I was showing to, I use social media as a way, I connect with people around the world. So I just put my information on there and they'll reach out to me and things of that nature. But it's your
Right.
toes. We don't understand the importance of our toes. That's how you create well, not create, but the start of your kinetic energy flow starts with the toes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so I had to
It starts from
discover
your
that
toes. You said? Did you say your toes?
your toes. Mhm. So I had to realize that, a lot of people don't know I paralyzed my leg in college. I had a drop foot.
No.
Yeah, nobody knew that. I was out for 14 months.
Oh
I,
my gosh.
mhm. I have a
No.
I have a wild story. A wild story. Yeah.
Can you share?
I man, it's
The
a
short
long
version.
story.
Give me the three. Give me
Yeah.
the short version.
Dropped a weight sled on my leg right before, after the second meet of the indoor season. So it wiped my entire season. And so I was done the entire next season too. And so it wasn't, I made nationals just off one meet, the conference championships. And that's how I made nationals, went to nationals. But I was out for 14 months.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Talking about.
But I had to work on my feet, but I studied the feet so like because I had a drop foot. So my foot
Okay.
wouldn't work. And so I had to study the foot. So I'm like, I can't walk. The doctor doesn't know if I'm gonna regain, I damaged my foot so bad if I was gonna regain the control at full capacity. And so he just said, hey man, you better study your foot. You better understand your foot. So he said that, my degree was in exercise science anyway. I was studying that. I just started studying my foot. And so I started to realize the importance of the feet. And coming from basketball to track and field, you start to look at track athletes and you start to realize they are different than basketball players. They express athleticism at a higher capacities. So I just started to watch, the track and field athletes, and I realized their feet are like sledgehammers. They hit the ground so hard with their foot. And so I started to realize like my feet are weak. And so I just worked on my feet, on my feet, on my feet. But then I started to realize the importance of that ratchet effect, which starts with the toes and the toe plate area. And so that's when I started to really realize the importance of the feet for developing as an athlete.
I love it. And I went for my birthday this past year, reflexology. And so I
Yeah,
found out about different things in your feet or what have you. So I'm all in. It's definitely in your feet. It makes sense. So
100%.
you're getting all kind of support. Dr. Biggie, right. And thank you so much for showing up live here, especially Boone as well. Late is never, you're right on time. We're just wrapping it up. So the next question I have for you, my friend, is holidays. Like, do you have a certain day or date that stands out for you? Mine is my sobriety date, which is November 20th, 2023. Life started over for Adrian then. So
Gotcha.
28 months over, I'm in this thing. And so do you have a day that stands out for you that just so impactful that just, mindset shift?
The day when my brother passed, being able to overcome, the feeling of loss, of pain. So that date there is a day that, now I feel better because of what I'm doing. And a lot has to do with how they're motivating me without being physically present here, they're motivating me. And so those dates when, my brother passed, the 21st of June, and the other one passed June 5th, one 2021, the other one 2023. And so those dates, when they come around, I'm more inspired now to keep it moving.
That's so amazing, my friend. I mean, that's your resilience in regards to that losing loved ones and then brothers at that. I applaud you every time I hear that. Like, it's nothing to compare. So thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable and open with that. Truly appreciate that as well. I did want to go back to Specialty Boone's statement. She said her husband's situation, he's going through with his nerve in his lower leg and feet from a disc in his back. And it might have something to do with, in regards to just, like you said, the strengthening of your joints. And I'm all in with the toes. It's so funny because working from home, I don't go out like I used to. And so when I went out the last couple of times, I wear heels. my knees were like I played a whole 2 games of basketball. Like it's swollen like apples. So I was like, okay, so before the next time I go out, I'm gonna have to figure this out. So that's why I asked you about the joints. That's why I changed. I was like, maybe God's talking to me right now.
Yeah, the joints matter. They start at the feet.
Yes.
Everything starts at the feet. Your nerve
I love
endings end in your feet and your hands, you know.
Okay.
Your appendages.
So the next question I have for you is, where are you from? You know, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? Where are you from, and where do you call home now? And home for me is still Detroit as well. What about you?
Memphis, Tennessee. That's where I was born and raised, but I live in the DMV area.
Amazing. I have a sister, family in that area too. So awesome. Okay. And so the next question, travel. Now, you know I love travel. You know that. 48 of the 50 states, lived in Toronto, been international, but Toronto is my favorite. What's your favorite place that you travel to and why?
Either Cuba or the Philippines.
Oh, what place have I been? Why?
The experiences.
Do we want to leave it there?
The Philippine trip was an unbelievable trip. My brother, he didn't know I was coming over there. So he played, my brother played international basketball. And so I just popped up, and I was popped up on my delayed. I think I was in Japan, and I'm like, hey, I'm on my way. Like, what you mean? I said, I'm one leg away from the Philippines and need you to come pick me up. He's like, what the hell? You didn't tell me you were coming. I'm like, well, I told you. You said you didn't tell me the exact time. And so I said, he was like, how did you know to come at this particular time? I'm like, I look at the basketball schedule. Y'all made the playoffs, so I'm on my way. So make sure you're there to pick me up. So that was an experience right there. But Cuba was awesome. It's you're in you're a 30-minute flight, and you're you're just in a different land. It's just take you back to the 1950s. And so it's like you get off the plane and it's like, what's going on here? But you love it. It's just, it takes you back like retro years. So I love it.
Was the food, were the people amazing? Like those are 2 locations I've never been.
Everything. It's just the experiences. I had some amazing experiences.
I love it. So Dr. Vicky Rice at Hamilton says she loves the Philippines and she spent many years in the Far East. Wonderful place, especially giving you love, the DMV. Okay, DMV. And so the last 2 questions I have for you, Elle, and I'm gonna let you get back to your day. I know you have training and things that you have to get to, and your coaching and consulting as well that you do. In regards to one word for your brand, if you could describe your brand in one word, my one word is resilience. There's nothing that I can't do. God's leading. I'm over in the passenger seat. I'm just in this thing with him. So, so that's my thing. What is that one word for your brand and why?
Success.
I love it.
At the end of the day, we all want to get ahead in life. I don't think I've never heard anyone say they do not want to get ahead. They want to regress through life. It's just we don't know how to calculate to get the outcomes. And so success is within all of us. Success is within everybody. It's just, are you calculating the right steps to get there?
I love it. Do you have a favorite book or movie that's helped you with your mindset throughout your journey? My book is the Bible. I'm reading the Bible as we speak, or as well. Do you have a book that's been good or a movie for your mindset?
The movie, I like the Book of Eli.
Okay. I've seen Chosen. I haven't seen the Book of Eli. I like Chosen.
Yeah. Determination.
Okay.
He's walking by faith. He's just determined. He doesn't know what the end goal is. He has a vision, and he's resilient. He's determined to get there. So that resonates with me.
I love it. And here's the last one for you, and I'm gonna let you go. And if you can go back and touch your younger self on your shoulder and give a piece of advice, what piece of advice would you give? Now, I would go back honestly and tell younger Adrienne Mays, you know what, Adrienne, you're amazing. Love yourself, flaws and all. Don't care what anybody says. You go out there and you do it, Adrienne. I will be my own cheerleader in my head, rooting me on, regardless of what anybody said along the way. I would be code Elliott Young. Now, for you, what would you actually do and say to the younger Elliott? If you had the opportunity to do so.
Everything that looks good, you don't have to chase it.
could be taken so many ways.
I'll be taking it whichever way you want to take it. Waste a lot of time.
The Olympic trials when you tried out for the Olympics? Is that what you're talking about?
A young man can waste a lot of time in his life, and so be accountable for your time at all times. Be accountable for your time at all times. Don't try not to waste time. As a younger man, it's easier said than done. When there's options around, you may explore options. And you may have a lot of options. You may explore a lot of options. Just know your time is valuable. So that's what I would tell myself. Like, your time is very valuable, man.
So eloquent the way you put it. Elliott, your time is very valuable, and I'm so thankful. But great segue, and I'm thankful for the time that you actually spent here today. On a serious note,
I enjoyed it.
I truly appreciate your conversation, your being authentic, your honesty, your story. But honestly, Elliott, just being able to help another athlete or a coach or a parent or a child along the way, that's what it's all about, and that's what 100%. You're doing. So I wanted to applaud you while you're here, and thank you so much for taking the opportunity to do what God has given you to do, as well as just showing up live. Shallon, you had her back today, and you had my back. I truly appreciate you, my friend. Anything that you want to say to Dr. Vicki Wright Hamilton, your cheerleaders, Felicity, Emma, Talia, anybody here live or even watching the replay?
I say, with if you want to succeed, pursue it. Don't be afraid, and be open for conversation with people, even people that you may not think could be a benefit to you. And so just be open and just try. Put forth that one foot, try. And if you get knocked down, just get right back up. That's it. Just get right back up. Keep it going.
So how can people find you, Elliott, if they wanted to connect with you, if they wanted to, of course, especially telling you congratulations. If they wanted to actually reach out to you about anything that you're doing, how could they reach out to you? Is Facebook the best way to do so?
Facebook would be the best way, yes. I'm getting into not trying to stay antiquated. So I'm using Facebook as a way for me to connect with people and to get out of my comfort zone. So that's the best way, Facebook.
I love it. You got to start somewhere.
If you have any suggestions, feel free to shoot them my way. Absolutely.
You're doing a great job. And like I said, my key thing is you got started. Like a lot of people, you don't have to know how to do it, but if you don't get started, how do you know what you don't know? Right. So Dr. Vicki Wright hits it on the head. Congratulations, Elliott Young, on all of your accomplishments. And thank you for your resilience, just the heartbreak and the pain that you've gone through to get here. God's got a plan. It's bigger than us, Elliott.
No doubt.
I'm telling you, my friend, but thank you for taking your time here today. Get to work, my friend. You got to go because you're late.
No doubt. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for thinking about me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And to all.
Oh, wait. Oh, let me bring you back. You was about to say something. What'd you say? What'd you say?
No, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to your guests. Thank you for opening this platform.
Thank you. That was amazing. Athlete to Legacy, Elliott Young took the time out today, especially that was for you, DMV love. Look, Detroit, Michigan, we can show some love to the DMV. We love the DMV and ATL, Atlanta as well. But on a serious note, Elliott, go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to be able to follow up with you in regards to getting, everything done. But thank you. Dr. Vicki Wright said it's amazing. I would take that. What do we got to do? Amazing. We're going to change the spelling in the dictionary to go I'm going to put it in the chat. But on a serious note, if you're here live or watching a replay, God has put amazing people around me. And I didn't know over 20 years ago, excuse me. I'm not that old, but I didn't know over 20 years ago that I would still have a friend that I can be able to call on last minute, and be able to show up and just be himself. And the great thing is, in regards to the journey, I was sharing with Elliott that I don't know what God has planned. But the great thing about having a plan is letting him lead. This is a true statement. And I love things being live because I know that I'm not making this up. So true story, as you can see on his Facebook, before I researched him coming on the show, what I do typically is I go on a person's social media and I see what they're doing, that way I can be able to relate and bring present information in regards to our conversation. So I kid you not, this is how God works, and I'm showing you live on how God works. As you saw, he was talking about chiropractors, and he posted that over 24 hours ago. And what I'm doing right now, as you know, we build apps and we're actually solving problems, and we're working on the name, image, likeness. And so, but anything that you do, you gotta have, what's the one thing, my friends? Put it in the chat if you know what I'm going to say. But if you don't know what I'm going to say, is a business plan. You gotta have a business plan anytime you get started. I don't care if you're getting started with an app idea, if you're getting started with a new business venture, if you have an idea that you want to get started, you gotta have a plan. Why do you have to have a plan? Because plans are made to fail. And the only way that you can fail is to have a plan to get started. So I tell this story because, again, I reached out to my business partner, first time I went through, didn't have Justin in my life. I didn't know about planning. I didn't know about being effective. So using Claude, using Claude AI, I created the AI Legacy Blueprint business plan of our ecosystem. And I'm sharing this information with you because this is to be about distribution. And I wanted to be open and vulnerable about everything that I'm doing in our business to get to the billionaire journey. This is day 673, the billionaire plan. And so in the business plan, what you're able to do is go to something called Claude AI. And Claude is able to, you can talk to Claude like your buddy. And I'm going to show you Claude real quick. And Claude, how I had Chat GPT from the D. So now I have Cody. Cody is what I'm calling Claude, because Claude has to have a name as well. Everybody's got to have their own name. So what I wanted to do is show you Claude. This is Claude, and this allows you to create things with AI in seconds, which hence allow me to create the landing page for this name, image, likeness information. So I wanted to show you all this because, again, how you get to the end result is of having something like this for students and creating this app. I wanted to make sure that automation and AI was in the actual process. So if you can, do me a favor. If you actually saw value into what we did here today, please take a moment and take the survey. I actually remembered this time. This is so funny that I remembered, because typically I go and end the live. I forget to talk about myself because I don't. But I do need your feedback, because if we're going to make this a billionaire app, we need to actually get the information from name, image, legacy founders. Who are these individuals? These are individuals, if you were an athlete before, if you were actually a part of a parent situation, if you have an athlete, anything that's going to help you in regards to your brand. That's what we're here aiming to do. But how do we get there? We have to get there to ask questions. I'm gonna do it right this time. We're not gonna make any mistakes. Now, is it going to be perfect? No, but here's the kicker. We're gonna have brands on the platform first. I was listening, we're talking about different ways to do distribution. So if you got anything from the conversation, the tip of the day was Claude. Claude allows you to build landing pages in seconds, lead magnets, opportunities to help you sell. I know Dr. Vicky Wright, we were just in a training talking about lead magnets with Jason Long, with Justin Burns brought in a billionaire business owner that helped Appsville with AI community, talking about the importance of setting up your business and having these different things in life. Justin don't play. He's setting us up for billionaire success, starting with the end in mind. But one of the things he mentioned, it was in regards to having your structure and your systems and your affiliate programs and your opportunities and your lead magnets. Use AI. How do you do that? You use AI to leverage your brand and your business. So we're going to be able to do these little things together, my friends. We're here live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, I'm glad Shallon is feeling better. We'll get her rescheduled here in the future. Hopefully you like my intercept. I was able to reach out to one of my friends an athlete, and being able to talk about the brand and of what we're trying to do next with the AI Legacy Blueprint plan. And hopefully you enjoyed today's live, as we're again here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be able to share your authentic story and to be able to get the whole deal done to grow and build your brand. So thank you so much for this. So let me show you who we have coming up here soon. So make sure that get your free gift. But we have here coming up here soon next week, Nichelle Dupree. She's going to be here live with us, going over her app, MindSpark. So it's an AI-powered study tool. So Nichelle's going to be here live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be able to make sure you tune in, set your calendars, make sure you go to cccelevate.com/live and be able to register to make sure you get your reminders and, be able to attend. That's March 31st, 2026. The calendar is filled up all the way through May. Spessity Boone and Jemiah Boone, they're going to be here April 7th. She's here live with us. What up, though, Spessity, coming to show and support. She'll be here April 7th, 2026, going over their app and website, Built on Lovable, a part of the apps built with AI family, and growing and building and coming to show some love on Adrian's platform. Thank you. And then, of course, we have April 14th, Dr. Vicki Ray Hamilton showing me love every single week. I am so excited to be able to talk to you about your KinKeeper for Caregivers app. We talked a little bit back in February 17th. She was a part of our live conversation where we had these stories behind the AI apps that we went after our competition. But I actually asked her to come back and talk a little bit about her amazing app, KinKeeper, that's going to be catered for caregivers. And thank you so much for the ongoing support, because again, I tell her all the time, I am little Oprah in the making. So we'll have her on April the 14th, talking about KinKeeper for caregivers. Then on the 21st, we'll have Tynesha Perrine. She has her Safe Sitters app for event babysitting. We'll talk a little bit to her about the effort and all of the ideas. So such a great story in regards to what made her get started with building that Safe Sitters app. So that's April 21st. We're going to have that amazing guest. Gwen Arrington, the founder of Vision Keeper, she's coming out with another app. She's always doing something amazing. She has a great outlook in regards to tech skills, management skills, organization skills. But anyway, Gwen Arrington, April 28th, is going to come and talk to us at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time about her app, Vision Keeper. It's an AI strategy companion. She just had her launch, and she's going to share the Vision Keeper. Oh, it is so awesome. It's like a vision board on steroids. Then the man, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the king of apps, Justin Burns, Built with AI founder as well as creator, will be with us on May 5th, 2026. So you'll be able to see the man that created this 1,000-member community that showed all this love, this great flow of how to build apps. The Blueprint Builder is one of the best apps that I can say that he built, but he's built Maestro. He's millionaire company and different connects, and we'll be able to talk to him. And he said yes to apps built with AI and Adrian on May 5th, 2026. So that's going to be a fun, exciting opportunity. And then on May 12th, we're going to have Zakira Smith. She has World Connect Global Network. It's the ultimate app for expats. Travel. She has a school community for a traveling brand. I'm a member, and she's helping people go worldwide. And her app is going to help people along the way. See, I'm booked through May. Come on, y'all wasn't ready. And then May 19th, we have Nicole Player, Boss Eves. She's a boss. And when I tell you I was going to have her move up if Elliott wasn't available today, she was going to fill in for the slot. But she has her own video. She has her own YouTube. The girl is bad. She's a queen. You hear me? So this Boss Eves, business best friend, she's going to talk a little bit about the app that she built May 19th, 2026. And May 26th, I don't have my speaker as of yet. So, hey, if you are interested in looking in regards to growing and building and being a part of the platform and showcasing your app, showcasing your story, you don't even have to have an app. Be able to go to cccelevate.com/live and be able to, thank you, Spessity. She loves what I'm doing. And Dr. Vicki Wright Hamilton says she can't wait for her date. So yay, I'm excited for you all to come on board as well. But the great thing is just to get it out there, right? Get the distribution out there, make sure as many people as possible. I know Justin just talked to us earlier today about just being active within your business. And this is one way I can help other people to do that. That's why I started this, not just for me, but to help other people to be able to. I'm not an introvert. So those introverts, they can come on my platform. I'm going to pull that story out. I'm going to bring out that vision. I'm going to show people, help people see what you saw so that the world can imagine and be within the lens that you provide. So, so much to go, so much building, so many ecosystems that are just coming to fruition. I am so excited. It's one more thing I want to show you real quick because I'm excited. So our shirt line is coming out, You versus You. And so we have our shirts that are coming out. We are building an ecosystem for the Billionaire brand. So this is something that we're not playing. Like Jason said today, you have to have numbers to get to your goal. I have a number of 200 in my head that I need to hit for 2026. And that goal will allow me to be the millionaire and then go to the next level. So you got to have your number, do the work, put in the activity, understand that this book right here is the guidebook and the framework. I'm good. I'm understandable. One day at a time. I am so excited about what God has next. Hopefully you enjoyed all of what was provided here today, talking to a world-class Olympic track and field, Elliott Young, and now is honestly giving back to the community and going to continue his craft. We're on something amazing here. You actually witnessed something that is exclusive because he's just getting started back into the game. So thank you, my friends, so much for being the support, showing live. If you're showing the replay, if you enjoyed this today, don't be afraid to leave it in the comments and to continue to build and just share this with someone else, because you never know how your impact on the way to your why can help someone else. Keep going. I truly enjoyed today, and I gave you the lineup that's coming up here soon. So I'll see you soon, my friends. I will. I am victorious. What up, though? Adrian Mays to Memphis, Tennessee. What up, though? Yes. Deuces. I know. I got too much energy. I can't help it. It's just me. Love me or not, this is me. Authentically, Adrian Mays. Let's go. Deuces.